Welcome to the West Indian Women Network. I am Priscilla Ramcharan, originally from Trinidad and Tobago, currently in the United States. Happy 2024 to everyone. Our lovely guest today is one of the amazing sponsors for our Read Ya Ting poetry contest. So it just made sense to invite her on to share her work, what she's up to, and how she can be of assistance to anyone who is interested in her services. So please welcome Ms. Jewel Greene, founder of the Caribbean social media hub TT. Please introduce yourself further.
Well, first of all, thank you, Priscilla, for having me on your platform. I was really intrigued when I saw that you were doing that poetry competition, Read Your Ting, right? I thought it was really, really nice because I just love words and I love writing. So anything that supports that, I am, all for it. So congratulations on that
Thank
competition
you.
that you held and on supporting the literary arts in that way. So, well, my name is Jewel Greene, and I am what I like to call the CEO of Caribbean Social Media Hub TT. And we're a digital marketing company, but we focus very heavily on book marketing. I'm a literary publicist, and I offer book marketing and literary publicity services, guidance, consultations to to authors and to publishers, right? Because they want to be able sometimes to offer their authors some marketing support. And what is happening in the industry is that we found that self-published authors have so much to do on their own that we didn't want to leave them up to themselves anymore. There's a lot of support in, in the US, in the UK, in Europe for self-published authors in terms of their marketing and so on. And even if you wanted an agent and to try to go traditionally, publish, but there's not a lot of support in the Caribbean for that. And even though we have a lot of publishers, we didn't find that there were a lot of people offering marketing support. So I thought to myself, based on the questions that I was fielding from authors, because I'm also in the Tobago Writers Guild. I'm currently the president of the Tobago Writers Guild. But at the
Congratulations.
time, thank you. At the time, I was the marketing director, and I was fielding questions from authors about, how to go about marketing. I don't know much about this thing, social media. You could tell me some more about it. And I said, this will be, something that the authors need. So it was based on the need that we kind of, jumped in headfirst into the realm of book marketing and literary publicity, because I was doing all of that, all of this marketing for regular clients, small business owners, NGOs, medium-sized entities as well. So I said, they seem to be okay. There's a lot of, support for them in the marketplace. So let me move over to where, there's a real need for the authors who like to write like myself. So we got into that, and it has been very, very rewarding because I get to do what I love to do all day long, every day, which is one, read books, two, talk to authors, support authors. And I also create and host a television show called Book Club Corner. It's hosted locally on Tobago Updates. And we chat every Wednesday with authors, local authors, about the literary arts and about the publishing industry and their love for the written word. So I just kind of fell into this, but I've always loved everything to do with literature and books since I was a very small child. And I'm just so happy that I'm able to take all the things that I love and put it in one space and do that all the time. And it's a real blessing for me.
Wonderful. Congratulations to you. And I totally resonate with playing with words, reading, writing.
Yes.
That's my element. So I love that. And I'm so happy that you You answered my question basically, what inspired you to launch your business? And you were looking to meet the needs of others, but also to kind of embrace your own passion for the
Yeah,
literary world. So that's wonderful. So you already answered
yeah.
that. What is your motivation
Well,
each day to
Pris
keep? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, no. So as I was saying, I had actually started doing digital marketing, and for those who aren't in the, in the book industry, literally, I started because my friends needed help.
Mm,
And I was at that, this is like about 10 years ago, right?
okay.
I was living in Barbados at the time, and I was the PRO for the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Barbados. And they didn't have a social media presence at all.
Oh,
So
wow.
I said, let me build, I built a website. I started the Facebook page. I started the Twitter account. There was no Instagram then. And people just kept coming to me, how are you doing this? Do
Hmm.
something for me to help me. So I started doing it for free. And then I realized I didn't want to be, because I was doing accounts in Barbados in the offshore industry. And I
Oh, wow.
realized I didn't want to be doing accounts anymore, right? I was the controller of a mining company, an offshore mining company. I was like, I don't want to be doing accounts anymore. I really, really love this marketing thing, but how can I pay my bills?
Hmm.
So, most businesses, you have a love and a passion for the thing you're doing, but you really need to be able to pay your bills too,
This
right?
is true.
You really
Yes.
need to be able to to have that revenue come in. So I would say for what you're telling, that question you just asked about what, motivates me to get up and do this work every day. I want to be honest with you. Yes, it's my passion. I mean, I could do this without getting paid, but I wouldn't be able to do it if I wasn't getting paid, because
Wow.
I'd have to do something to make money, right? To pay my bills. So it's really great when you get to marry the ability to pay your bills and to live the life that you need to live, pay for that life, fund that life while doing the thing that you love, right? It's not really a nice setup to have them separate. So I would say those things together, the fact that I
Mhm.
can pay my bills while doing the thing I love, that's what motivates me. And I want to make sure that authors are able to do that too.
Wow. Well said. So you answered my question. That's wonderful. Yes, of course. It's
Yeah.
just so important to have that balance where you're doing what you love, you're earning an income, you're helping others, you get the full package. So I thank you for clarifying. That's amazing. So let us know what's happening in your industry. Are you currently working on any projects?
Well, I'm working on quite a number of projects, but I'll just, share a few of them that I think would be very timely. For authors, what we've been working on is a starter kit. So Caribbean Social Media, how we've been working on a book marketing starter kit. So we had an ebook. I wrote an ebook and I was giving it away for free, still am.
Hmm.
It is going to eventually be a published book, but I thought this was a good time for me to use this as a beta reader product to bring in persons to give me feedback, to make some changes to it if necessary, that kind of way. So I'm giving it away for free. It's a 32-page document that just kind of breaks down book marketing for you from start to finish. Really talking about your target market, your target audience, who is your ideal reader, getting a budget organized, your social media and author platforms, all these good things.
Hmm.
And I decided to pair it with a workbook. So the workbook that I've paired it with is kind of giving you the steps towards a successful book launch. Because a lot of times authors come to me and they say, I have a book, it's just been published and I want a book launch, right? I
Hmm.
just, pressed publish on KDP and woohoo for me, I want a book launch. So we have a checklist. So I say, great, congratulations. I open my checklist, I start to go through things. And, when I start to ask them bit of the questions is no. The answer is no. I don't have social media platforms. I don't have any kind of presence online. I don't know who my target audience is. I don't have any professional headshot photos. I don't have any marketing material, right? I don't have a business card. I don't have any of these things because we
Oh,
have
wow.
like, it's not exhaustive, but it's 30, 39, 40 things on this list that
Yes.
we ask authors, have you been doing any marketing? Does anybody know besides you and your immediate family that you wrote a book, right? Because a lot of
Right.
authors are introverts and they find it hard to go around the place telling people, I have a book, I've written a book. But that's the first step
You're so right
because then
about
you
that.
have to go, yeah, then you have to go on TV and you may have to go radio. You may have to do a few promotions, go to a library, do a book signing, do a book reading. And if you can't tell people you've written a book, it's going to be really, really hard, right?
Right.
For you to
Absolutely.
promote this book. Yeah. So we go through this checklist and that's when we realize, they haven't done a lot. And some of them are doing, but it's quite a bit of steps to take. And if you take your time, not to overwhelm yourself, of course, but if you take your time, do a little at a time, you will be able to have a very successful book launch instead of having a book launch where, you feel
Hmm.
it didn't really hit the mark. It wasn't what I wanted. I thought,
Right.
it was going to be all of this excitement, people were going to come and enjoy it. And I did all of this work and nobody cares about writing. So that's the company. But if you don't do a lot of things, just remember, if you have a product and people don't know you exist as a business, right? Say I'm
Right.
selling something simple as juices. If people don't know I'm selling juices, how will they buy it? And if I
Hmm.
tell 10 people, that doesn't mean they want my juice. They may have been
Right.
getting juice elsewhere. So we have to try and figure out how to make the reader want to read your book, right? They may be into Sidney Sheldon or Derek Walcott or any of the other greats, Snow Basie. You still have to figure out how do I get their attention.
Yes.
And a lot of authors think once I have a book and I tell 5 people, the whole village will come out and support me and they'll want to read my book and it's going to be so awesome. And when it doesn't happen like that, they're a little disappointed. So we decided to come up with this workbook to kind
Hmm.
of help them get there. Realize that, okay, don't just go straight to book launch. Look at these steps first. They're baby steps. They're easy to do. They'll get you ready. And then when you have this very robust book marketing process, you go towards the book launch. So we've added the ebook to that workbook, and we also have a budget sheet. So it's a
Ooh.
worksheet where you can write in what am I going to spend for book marketing, and we've broken down the book marketing a bit. So whether it's going to be social media, whether it's going to be your marketing materials, and you get to fill it out if you want, print it again, or rub it off and do it again, because you
Hmm.
always want to be updating your stuff. So we've combined those three things, and we're giving it away to kind of help authors if they want to do it on their own, to be able to have something to help them.
That is so wonderful and generous. So, how do authors go about connecting with you to receive the workbook and the ebook?
So you just have to go to our Facebook page or
Okay.
Instagram account. If you go to Instagram, link in the bio, you will see a link for you to be able to access it. You just share your email address, a name with us, and we'll send the link to you. And when you open it, it's a folder with the three items in it, right? The three things for the starter kit, and you download it and you use it as you choose and please. Yeah,
That is fabulous. So, I'll also be sure to put that information in the description box and
thank
make
you.
2024 the year that you actually publish your book, launch it in the
Yeah.
proper way. And we have Miss Jewel here to help us. So, that's amazing. So we talked
Yeah.
about your motivation. Sometimes day in and day out, we don't have that inspiration sometimes. So what inspires you each day to keep moving forward?
I well, I go back to my passion again, and I don't know how else to describe it because sometimes people ask me, because when I do my book club corner and I interview authors, I actually read their books, right? And I
Mhm.
had a few people say, like, you actually read the book? So like, yes, I actually like to read, right? I love the books. They're like, oh, okay. And they're looking at me, waiting for me to say, but I didn't read the whole book, but I actually read it. And
Right.
that is one of my passions. I love reading. I love books. I love to see my books. I love to stack my books up, right? I like to have them by my bedside table and look at them, all the authors that have come through. My my passion, what keeps me going is the fact that there are authors out there who I feel if I don't step in and help and offer these services or guidance or conversation, I don't know where they'd be. And the
Mm.
Caribbean as a whole is not a space where we lack stories, but we lack the ability to be able to have those stories shared with persons. We have something where we call the oral tradition. And
Mhm.
even though the oral tradition is very rich, it's very, very necessary. Storytelling, Paul Keens Douglas and how he tells a story. But there is going to come a day when Paul Keens Douglas isn't around anymore. And we want to be able to still have access to those stories. And the best way to have access on a very long time basis for all the stories, the history, the customs and traditions of a people, of a community, is to have it written. And sometimes people write a book and they just have the manuscript sitting there because they're like, I will never sell this book. If I spend the money to publish it, I'll never sell it. Nobody will buy it. And I'm here to tell you, no, people will buy a book. They won't just buy it, they'll read it. They
Mhm.
will come and ask you for it. So that's my passion, trying to make sure that authors in the Caribbean understand in a visceral way that writing, authorship is something for them. It's not just for you. It can be a career if you so choose. And it
Mhm.
can be a career that is as successful as you want it to be. And it can pay your bills so that you can marry the two, making a revenue, making an earning, paying for your living, and still doing the thing that you love to do, which is right.
Really well said. I'm motivated and inspired right now. Wonderful. Yes, this has been an amazing interview. The work that you're doing, again, is very similar where we're connecting like-minded people, helping others to reach their goals and to kind of come out of that shell to say what I'm doing is valuable. That is so wonderful.
Yes.
So, what would be a final message for our viewers?
If I had a final message, it would be to pursue your goal of writing, to pursue your goal of becoming an author. Book marketing is the end of that publishing process. It's very, very necessary, but I couldn't do what I was doing if you wouldn't write your book, if you wouldn't write your story, and if you didn't publish it, right? So I would say, authors out there, if you feel you have a burning desire to write, don't let anybody, any comment, any naysayers, any what they call haters, don't even let yourself scare yourself, right? Because we scare ourselves so much.
Indeed.
Am I any good? Nobody's going to want to read it. Nobody was reading Emily Bronte's book. Nobody was reading Jane Eyre. They actually had them on it for 100 years, and then it became popular. Can you imagine, right? So don't feel like if oh, nobody's going to care about my book. Let me tell you, your children want to read your book. Your family wants to read your book. They're excited. Sometimes they hear, you're out a book. Wow, that's a big accomplishment. So that would be you know, my takeaway to give to anybody. Don't let anybody scare you away from your dream of becoming an author. Don't even scare yourself. Be brave and write. Write every day. You may not think it makes sense. You may not think it's valuable, but I'm telling you, if Derek Walcott, Michael Anthony, Nobesi Philip, If they all thought, Shakespeare, let's go back, if they all thought, right, that I am not um, talented, nobody's going to want to, we wouldn't have their works today. So keep that in mind, J.K. Rowling. All of these persons, nobody was cheering them on when they were quietly working away in the dark. And you may be working away in the dark. Take courage and get your book together.
I love that. That is so beautiful. And, I think the main message in your message is that self-doubt, that inner editor that's always yapping while you're writing. So, step one is
Yep.
turn that person off for a second. And I truly agree with
Yeah.
you. Thank you for all that
Yeah.
you're doing to help fellow authors and, bring light to the Caribbean genre. I really am so happy to meet and be in connection. You're welcome back anytime to share updates on what you're up to and, what you need help with. And thank you for being our sponsor again. We had rave
Of
reviews.
course.
Yes, they were so excited to hear each other's work.
Mm.
Again, the Caribbean diaspora coming together. Some of them never even knew of the other. So it was really fruitful.
Yes, and congratulations to you on the work that you're doing. And I wish you the best for 2024, all the great success, and please keep pushing. I hope your platform doubles and triples. I hope your highest moments for 2023 are your lowest
Amen.
moments for 2024. And, keep going.
Thank you. And more of that back to you as well.
Thank you.
So we appreciate your
Thank
time and
you.
we'll look out for all of your ventures and everyone will go and check out the ebook and the workbook so that, we can
Yes.
make 2024 amazing. Thank you. Say bye to everyone.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye bye.